Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for February 14th, 2013. Happy Valentine's Day out there for everyone. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. Happy Valentine's Day and gets roses, candy, all that stuff. Unfortunately, last night, Mother Nature, weather, Old Man Winter, what have you, did not provide a very nice Valentine's gift for me. It provided warm roadways, and that limited snowfall accumulation last night. Even though the banding developed, the moderate to at times heavy snow did develop over portions of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, but the very lowest portion of the atmosphere, which would have to be the ground, basically was just a little bit too warm, and so all that snow that fell barely accumulated in many locations. Where it did accumulate, well, you were kind of expecting it, about an inch or two. 1 to 3 inch snowfall forecast worked out very nicely for many locations. However, because of that warm boundary layer right at the surface, a lot of that snow that fell last night might as well have been rain because it just didn't accumulate aside from on the grass and on some car tops. So here we are this morning with temperatures pretty much where we would expect them to be in the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. These temperatures are going to warm up nicely into the upper 30s to lower 40s over the interior and mid, possibly even upper 40s along the coast, especially around the southern New Jersey coast. And with that, any snowfall that's on the ground over the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area will melt off nicely, but watch out for that black ice. It's still going to be an issue through the morning hours. And for those locations where you have over 30 inches of snow, some cases over 40 inches of snow, be mindful it's going to get a bit muddy out there with the snow melting and then refreezing and then melting again. So use some caution and keep an eye on your basements with that type of scenario playing out. Looking at the latest infrared satellite picture, you can see our little low pressure system has intensified and is moving out into the Atlantic. It's moving quickly in this progressive weather pattern. We have another clipper on the way here. Now for today and for tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with mild weather conditions out ahead of this Arctic cold front, which is the main force of its way back here. And ahead of that cold front, we're going to be looking at temperatures in the lower to mid 30s for lows by tomorrow morning, and many locations in the mid to upper 40s for highs. So again, any snow that is on the ground will be melting off at a rapid rate with those warm temperatures. We're also going to expect scattered cloud cover and generally dry conditions. So the end of the week is ending nicely. But the start of the weekend, well, that could be a little bit snowy. Take a look at the latest radar real fast. You can see this disturbance lifting north. It really isn't packing much of a punch. Dry conditions are in place over the northern mid-Atlantic. Let's dive right into the water vapor because this is getting pretty interesting here. Now, I mentioned a Arctic disturbance that we're going to keep an eye on. It looks like this disturbance, it's right about here, is not going to move fast enough to produce a massive storm. But there is potential for a light to moderate snowfall on Saturday morning with this disturbance developing here, and we still have an active subtropical jet stream here. And this is going to have to be something that we're going to watch very carefully. It's still a relatively progressive pattern. If this was locking in here and just wasn't moving anywhere, this would have been a far more interesting setup for this upcoming weekend. But this disturbance is kicking this upper level low to the north, as you can see. And although we're starting to get some high latitude blocking here, it's not enough to slow down this whole progressive weather pattern setting up here over the west coast. So as a result, you end up with basically a near miss for a major winter storm, but something to definitely keep an eye on for this weekend as this disturbance rounds to bend, Arctic air builds in, and then you get a nice little low pressure system spinning up around the Delmarva Peninsula, heading up towards the New England coastal waters that could produce a light to moderate snowfall on Saturday morning. I'm going to use the GFS model guidance because it pretty much agrees with what we're seeing with the European model guidance. I can go into a little bit more detail here. But for the most part, the models are in pretty good agreement for the next, let's say, about 48, even out to 120 hours here. By this afternoon, again, we're dry. We are warming up nicely. We're on the eastern end or the east side of this trough where we're getting a nice southwesterly flow aloft, so we're ending up with warm temperatures, comfortable weather conditions on through Friday. And then on Friday night, our Arctic cold front moves through. Now, Friday night, you're going to see temperatures crashing rapidly. And then you're going to see our subtropical disturbance, which is right here, start to interact with that Arctic air. So here's our subtropical disturbance, here's our polar disturbance, here's our Arctic disturbance, okay? In fact, we have a couple of disturbances even back here, okay? So there's a lot of energy in play here. And if everything had interacted, developed into a powerful storm, man, we'd be talking about a very impressive winter storm. But we're not, because it's not going to phase. So what we have here is this weakness in the atmosphere trying to get itself organized. The GFS has low pressure systems all over the place to basically represent all these various disturbances. As these disturbances round the bend, you can see by Saturday morning we get a shot of light to moderate snowfall, basically developing from around Washington, D.C., lifting northward towards New York City and eventually toward Boston. And you can see our temperatures are going to be more than cold enough, even at the surface, to support accumulating snowfall. So we have this low pressure system rapidly developing, intensify, a nice little low pressure system with light to moderate snowfall. Again, we're looking at like a trace to an inch over many portions in eastern Pennsylvania, because once again, the lifting is going to be closer to the coast. And about 1 to 3, maybe 2 to 4 inches along the coast on Saturday morning. It's a fast-moving disturbance because we're dealing with a progressive weather pattern. Notice this ridge moving forward shifts very quickly to the east, and so it doesn't allow this whole pattern to lock in. And look at all the energy here. There's definitely going to be scattered snow showers throughout the day, even into Sunday, even though the model guidance is suggesting dry conditions. When you have all these disturbances around, you can't rule out a snow shower. But look, this trough is just packed with energy, but it's just not going to phase. So you end up with one area of low pressure that during the time period as it's moving through the New Jersey coastal waters remains relatively weak with a nice shot of light to moderate snow, but nothing more. So then by Saturday afternoon and Sunday morning, we end up with this low pressure system starting to bomb out over the Gulf of Maine here. And you can see all this energy starting to phase and interact, but because the pattern is so progressive, it lifts to the north. Basically, Maine gets a nice little winter storm, but much of the northern mid-Atlantic just gets a light to moderate snowfall, and that's about it. Sunday, again, scattered snow showers are a threat. Monday, we warm up because we're on this progressive weather pattern again, so we warm back up into the 40s. Any snow that did fall will melt on Monday, and then we have a very powerful Arctic cold front driving through the eastern United States on Tuesday. Look on Tuesday evening for very heavy rainfall, transitioning over to snow as Arctic air invades. Now, Tuesday is going to be an interesting day because Tuesday we're going to see our high temperatures most likely in the morning, mid to upper 40s, very warm. It's going to feel almost spring-like out there on Tuesday morning. By the time you get home on Tuesday evening, you're going to realize winter is back, with temperatures falling through the 40s, 30s, and into the 20s. So any rainfall that might be lingering is going to change over to snow, but there is going to be a very tight cutoff. So I don't expect any accumulation with this changeover to snow, but more of a calling card that, hey, winter is back. We only took a short break, and temperatures will be crashing on Tuesday afternoon. And then Wednesday, we're looking at a chilly day with cold temperatures in place, temperatures in the 30s for highs, and windy as well. Now, one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on towards the end of next week and into the weekend is this strong disturbance. We're going to be dealing with a weather pattern supportive because of this upper level low lifting into the Canadian Maritimes, causing a negative NAO pattern for the potential for a winter storm. And let me quickly show you what the latest European model guidance is showing out in that time period. Is basically producing a nice little winter storm developing along the East Coast. We're going to be dealing with a rain to snow type threat, especially over southern New Jersey, leading to a powerful winter storm on basically Friday night through Saturday, and then ending on late Saturday night with clearing skies next Sunday. So winter is certainly here and definitely not leaving anytime soon. So that is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and NYNJPA Weather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a great day, and happy Valentine's Day.